Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. We enter our 14th year of covering East Brunswick High School sports, and tonight we have football for you. Hello, I'm Jimmy Allinder, and I'm being joined by Phil Hill, and we're back again, partner.
Back again, you're
right.
Yeah.
Listen, Phil, before we begin, I want to just say something. I want to pass on my best wishes to your son, Justin. For those of you who don't know, Justin would be on the field tonight, probably in the starting backfield, and he suffered an ACL ligament damage injury this summer playing baseball. He's had surgery. He's going through the rehabilitation, and he's going to be back next year. But I know what a bittersweet moment this must be for you, and I wanted to pass on my personal best to your son and as well as your family.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. The ACL is words, letters no parent should have to hear, but kids are resilient, and he'll bounce back.
Okay.
But let's talk football.
Yeah, let's talk football, and we've got a good one tonight. It's East Brunswick versus Bridgewater Raritan from Somerset County. Now, Phil, last year East Brunswick opened up at Bridgewater Raritan, and they were, I guess the word would be pasted, 36-8.
Right.
Yeah, and Marcus Borton said it was really the only game that East Brunswick was not in during the season.
Right.
So here we are 1 year later. Are things different for East Brunswick?
Things are certainly different. The type of attack the Bears will have, you hear the term air bear, and which means they're going to put the ball in the air a lot. But I think they're going to have much more balance than perhaps they've led us to believe and whatnot. Everything starts with Ryan Costantino, the young quarterback that, of course, was injured himself last year with a fractured collarbone, but he's back, and he's had a pretty good summer working out. He, of course, went to Rutgers Coach Shea's camp, the shootout, and did an outstanding job there.
Right.
So I think there's great anticipation. They're mentioning his name in the same breath as Brian Forte and Hughes when you talk about potential, and the kid does have an arm. He can throw the ball. The question is, will this line give him enough time in order to get the ball off? I think the interesting thing about these two teams is that they sort of switch roles. Last year, Bridgewater Raritan was a passing team, and this year they're going to come in, they're going to be a running team. They got a running quarterback. They like to do a lot of trapping, quick hits. They want to control the ball and have long drives, much as Scott Hobbs did last year for the Bears. The Bears, on the other hand, are going to use a number of receivers. Brian Merrigan is the name we remember. 4 touchdowns last year, 19 receptions, and he's a good one. He's going to be the primary target, but then you have Adam Petty, who can receive the ball as well, a number of other receivers and backs coming out of the backfield. You have Russ Leota, who's a very fine inside runner, Brad Pleasant, who handles himself extremely well, and Chris Hurley, and a number of other backs as well. So I think you're going to see more balance by the Bears, but they don't hide the fact. They want to throw the ball this year. They want to use Ryan's arm.
Okay, now you talk about Bridgewater Raritan having some explosiveness of its own, and we can talk about their players as we move on tonight. But that tells me, though, that East Brunswick is going to have to come up defensively. And Marcus Borton has not been all that pleased with his defense in the preseason. What are some of the names and faces, and can they do the job tonight?
They're going to have to do the job tonight because this is an important game, and I think Marcus really wants to get off to a very good start. It can set the tone for everything else. It can get the younger players believing in themselves. You got a good nucleus there. Greg Jimenez, who's going to lead the charge, he's been around for a couple years, and McManus is another name you're going to hear, Alexander. And then you got some very young players as well, like Andrew Batwash, a sophomore, who's expected to get some playing time as well. Their secondary, of course, Merrigan, Petty, Pleasant.
Costantino's going to be
and
back there as well.
Costantino's going to be back there as well. The kid said he likes to hit.
Yeah.
So he's on defense as well. Okay. And I think they're going to have to be scrappy. They're going to have to go to the ball and make things happen.
Right, and I remember watching a scrimmage and transfer from J.P. Stevens by the name of Chris Gamboa. Big size, 6'6", 283.
283.
Yeah.
Poor Chris. They've been calling him the transfer from J.P. Stevens for 2 years now. And he's been at East Brunswick for 2 years, and they still refer to him as the transfer from J.P. Stevens.
Yeah.
Of course, his first year playing football here, and he is a big one, and he's a good one. So he's going to help him certainly on that offensive line.
Okay, we're going to have a good opportunity to talk about East Brunswick and Bridgewater Raritan as we move through the game tonight. But right now, we'll take a quick break, and we will be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. Well, we are back at J. Doyle Field for the opening game of the season between East Brunswick and the opponent from Somerset County, Bridgewater Raritan. Okay, Phil, I guess we have a few seconds here. The captains are going to be coming out for the coin toss.
Well, the Panthers, of course, 7-2 last year. Fine record, and they're looking to improve on that. And the Bears, of course, were 3-6, Jim. But you remember that 4 of those games they lost by less than a touchdown, and a couple games they lost by only 1 point. So they could have been a vastly different record. So they're looking to build, improve on that, certainly.
You know, you talked about Cosentino at the top, and I really think a key to this season is going to be the effectiveness of Merrigan and Petty, 2 of the 4 captains that are, as you see, are coming out to the team.
No, you're right.
You can have the best quarterback in the world, and there's some good comparisons with him between Hughes and Forte. Great arm, but you know the guy's got to catch the pass.
They got to catch the pass, but I think some of the other players, player I forgot to mention was Kevin Shaw, number 27. Keep an eye on him.
Right.
I've watched the scrimmages and whatnot, and he's been a kid that's been pretty consistent all along, and that's where you need players to step up like him that can make a big difference and whatnot.
And there's 98 Anthony Alexander, who will be, he's converted to a tight end.
Right.
Used to be a lineman, if I remember correctly, last year, and will be one of the linebackers. That is another area that is of concern to East Brunswick, and that's to get some consistent linebacker play. It's always been a strength of the Bears, Phil.
Of course, and of course Brian Mineta, number 62, is the 4th captain out there.
Okay, so looks like Bridgewater will receive. Not quite sure who won the toss. However, we'll get to see East Brunswick on defense to begin this game, and that's probably just as well. So.
Well, it's going to be an early test here. Again, what you want to look for the Panthers is Brian Brady, a 6'1", 190-pound senior quarterback, and not the passer that Billy Stewart was last year, but he can run the ball, likes to run the ball.
Well, we'll have to see. And some of the running backs, do you have any keys
on that? A couple of running backs, Corey Stewart, 5'11", 180-pound junior, a fine runner. And then you got Anthony DeLucia, 5'10", 215 pounds, a transfer from North Plainfield. And then you got Mr. Everything, Tom Gandolfo. And he'll probably be at fullback. He's 6 feet, 210 pounds. And a defensive stalwart, switched the offense.
Okay. All right, you see Bridgewater coming onto the field. East Brunswick with a lot of players dressed on the sidelines. I imagine the JVs are in that mix.
Well, it's a good sign.
Yeah, absolutely. Numbers being a premium these days in football, high school football.
And I want to check out who's kicking off here, Jim.
All right. Okay. As usual, we have a late arriving crowd here. Fans are rather dispersed, but we do see a stream of people coming in.
Okay, number 27, Kevin Shaw will be doing the kicking off.
Okay.
Of course, Kevin came on last year and I think kicked 4 PATs and was just coming into his own, so trying to pick up there.
You know, I got to tell you, I was reading the Central Jersey Home News and Tribune today. They did a real fine football section, and what was really interesting was the focus on the linemen. I thought that was very good, very good.
I think we're all guilty of not giving the linemen enough credit, Jim. But let's start this game.
Okay, that is Scholl. Actually, a good deep kick down to about the 15-yard line, where it's picked up by Bridgewater, who has an opening.
Wow.
That's number 46.
He's
still with it. Good run back by number 46, Guy Budnizak. I hope we're pronouncing it the right way.
Budnizak, yeah. And I tell you, Jim, he went straight up the middle, not really moving that fast.
Not that fast.
And,
well, special teams, the Jesse James gang, special teams of notoriety for East Brunswick are going to have to put on a good show for East Brunswick tonight. Okay, so we have Bridgewater. What do we got here? Official timeout. Looks like number 50 might have an equipment problem. That is Zukas, Matt Zukas.
And I tell you, when you start out the game, you really wanted your special teams getting down there and maybe a good crack and hold them in a difficult field position. But when you start off a game like this, Jim, he sort of pumps up the team that has the ball.
Right. Okay, so we mentioned that Brady, number 12, will be your quarterback for Bridgewater Raritan. Stewart, DeLucia, and Gandolfo, likely the running backs. And let's see exactly what Bridgewater Raritan, the Panthers, decide to do.
Gandolfo deep in the backfield, and it's given to him, and he's brought down right away, Jim.
Right, and Mineta was the first one in there.
And it's my firm belief, I've said it all the time, if you can stop the fullback in any offense and whatnot, stop that initial drive and whatnot, then you can contain a team.
Okay, so maybe a little bit of a loss on that. We'll still call it 2nd and 10 for Bridgewater. East Brunswick looks like they're ready to come.
Counter.
Who might that be?
Okay, they had
that
him.
was Stewart.
And they had him for a loss. He only picked up about 2, Jim.
Well, I'm not quite sure who grabbed him, but that was enough to slow him down so the rest of the East Brunswick team could get to Stewart. Corey Stewart, as Phil mentioned, is the feature back tonight.
And I tell you, right here is where you want to stop him, Jim. The Bears have him in third and 8. And if they can stop him right here, it'd be an awfully good start.
That is Brady calling signals. Back to pass. And not a good pass. And actually not a good sequence for the Panthers. So
I'll tell
we
you,
got a little bit of a fight here on the field.
I tell you, too early in the season to have a fight. You get
Exactly.
You get kicked out of the game. You cannot play this game nor the next game, fellas.
Well, nor emotion is understandably very high, this being the opening game of the season, the opening sequence. And the players are just going to have to control themselves. Fortunately, the referees did not throw a flag.
Okay, Mike McManus, number 52, brushing in there, forcing that pass, Jim, and did a good job.
Merrigan and Petty are deep for East Brunswick, punting the ball. We can't quite get his number. Panthers wear black
Number
uniforms and silver and gray. 47 on that kick. Nice punt. And fielded and dropped by Petty, who pounces on the ball. And East Brunswick is going to start deep in their own territory. It looks like about the 9-yard line.
I'll tell you, you're right, deep in their own territory. And
we're going to get our first look at Cosentino, number 15, on your screen.
And of course, Petty, had that broken knuckle on his, I believe, right hand.
Right.
And he has a glove on it, and back there to catch the ball, didn't quite feel that. You got to wonder if that's affecting him right now.
We shall see. Cosentino, number 15, 6'2", 190 pounds, with a really good arm, and we'll see it tonight. That is he with the ball right there. And
a face mask on top of
right.
him.
Number 12 was the tackler. That was Brady, the quarterback for Bridgewater, who made the tackle and is accused of the face mask penalty.
I'll tell you, for all the talk we've done about passing, Ryan Cosentino comes out with a fine run there. They do some of everything. They still have the option. They haven't thrown it out, Jim, as you just saw.
Okay, let's get the line set for you for East Brunswick. Mineta, 62, we saw on defense, is right tackle. You mentioned Greg Jimenez, number 63, right guard. Tom Crail is your center, 54. Mike McManus, 52, is left guard. And Chris Gamboa, 72, is the left tackle.
Okay, they're on the 35-yard line.
Takes them out of trouble. And Cosentino has mentioned he likes to mix it up and run with the ball.
That's
so
for sure.
It's not going to be all pass. First down for East Brunswick. Handoff. And let's see who that was. Is that Pleasant? Number 32.
32, that's Leota.
Okay, Russ Leota nudges ahead for, well, actually, really some good yards there. That's about 4-yard gain.
4
I didn't think it
yards.
was that much.
We'll take that any time.
You betcha. Second and 6 for East Brunswick. This is their opening possession. They held Bridgewater Raritan in the first sequence. Cosentino back to pass. Just looking for somebody.
Oh, I'll tell you.
What an arm.
Oh, mercy.
Oh.
Mercy.
Okay, we have a flag on the play. Not quite sure what that is, but you got to see.
You got to see his
You got
arm
to
on
see
his
the arm on
first
that one.
varsity throw
Right.
of the year, and it's right there. Unfortunately, he wasn't held on to, but we have a holding penalty anyway, I believe, Jim.
Right. That was Merrigan, the intended receiver. So a holding penalty against East Brunswick. I'm sure that Bridgewater will accept this.
And you won't see Brian Merrigan drop too many of those. Brian Merrigan has excellent hands. But again, Ryan Cosentino's first varsity pass, and a beaut.
Well, I'll tell you what this does as well. It really is going to spread the defense for Bridgewater.
That's right.
They just simply are going to not be in a position of allowing these receivers to get behind them.
Well, Bill Savage, the veteran coach who's been around for 20 years, Jim, recognizes that as well. But the Bears look like they got a fine mixture here, and if they can keep the Panthers off balance, they're going to be in a pretty good situation.
This 10-yard penalty makes it second down and 16 for East Brunswick. Cosentino again is calling signals. He is back to pass again. Lofts the same one. And
wow.
This time Merrigan holds on to it. And he is tackled at about the 10-yard line by Brady. They come right back with the same thing.
The same play. I said Brian Merrigan's not going to drop too many of them, Jim. And once again, Ryan Cosentino put it right there. What a beautiful pass.
Let's see what kind of gain that was. It's down to the 10, so it looks to be first and goal for East Brunswick, right at the 10-yard line. And what a beautiful pass completion. I think that's about 50 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Effortlessly, Jim.
Yeah, he really just lofted it. Okay, let's see what they're going to do. It is just short of the 10-yard line, so theoretically East Brunswick can get a first down, but they're going to probably try to knock it in here. This is he with the ball. Pitches to number 32, Leota.
Oh, he's down to the one. The ball
Now the ball
bounced
is down.
Okay.
No fumble on the play. Nice gain. And that puts the ball, believe it or not, by the first down marker.
By the first down marker.
They're going to measure.
And that's number 22, Jim.
Was it 22? I thought it was 32 that had the ball. Okay, it could be Hurley.
It is Hurley.
Okay.
Chris Hurley.
My apologies
with a fine
to Chris
run.
Hurley. He's another one in the backfield that we're going to be calling this year.
And you see number 27, Kevin Shull, coming in the backfield. And
Phil, I would think that with Cosentino's size, it's going to be he with the ball, bowling over on a quarterback sneak.
Sounds like a good call to me, Jim.
Sure. Tom Creel.
They got a chance for a first down, however.
And let's see what we got here. Well, it doesn't make too much difference here unless they fumble the ball, but Tom Creel is the center, number 54. He is 5'9", 258 pounds. And you want to see somebody that's able to get low? Creel can do that.
He's already low.
He's already low.
he's a fine blocker and an excellent snapper, long snapper here. But right now, the Bears are in excellent position.
They are for a number of reasons. Number one, even if they nudge the ball ahead about maybe 6 inches, they're going to get a first down. And then if they don't score. But let's watch for Cosentino on a quarterback sneak. He is an excellent athlete, and he's got great hands.
Yes.
Did we call it?
He's in.
Touchdown.
I'll tell you.
Okay. So there you go. That's the first time we're calling Ryan Cosentino for a touchdown, but I have a feeling we're going to be calling him more.
Cosentino era has started, Jim. I mean, you couldn't ask for two better passes than the young fellow threw in this drive here. And it's an exciting brand of football for the Bears. You can feel the electricity in the air. The fans love it.
Absolutely, and there's no question that just from that opening drive, you can see something special with Ryan Cosentino, where he lost playing last year because of that broken collarbone, kept him out. But he looks fully recovered, and if the East Brunswick defense can hold up here, I think we got ourselves a little bit of a special team.
Okay, Kevin Shull will try to kick here.
Kick is up, and it is through. And East Brunswick jumps out to a 7-0 lead on their first possession.
And I talked about jumping out early and what a confidence builder it can be and how important it is for the young fellows that are just coming up to know that they can do it. And the Bears have looked awfully good in this initial drive.
I was going to say, Phil, I don't think you can ask for a better sequence of defense and offense for East Brunswick. The only thing you want to watch for is the special teams play here, right? The opening kickoff that Bridgewater Raritan had brought it all the way down to the 45.
Good point.
East Brunswick's going to want to shore up its kickoff team and make sure that doesn't happen again. So I imagine Scholl will be kicking off. Let's see. Yes, he is. That drive started from East Brunswick's 10-yard line.
That's right.
Or actually inside the 10.
90.
So it's a 91-yard drive or so. Helped by a penalty when Costantino took the ball, a face mask, followed by an incomplete pass, followed by a long completion down to the 10. Okay, here we go again. It's 8:22 left to go in the first period. Short kickoff by Scholl, goes over to the side, picked up, and number 88 is the ball carrier.
I'll tell you, Jesse James' game doing some poor tackling, Jim.
That was Glenn Nutting carrying the ball.
And we're not used to that by the Jesse James gang. They're usually rather aggressive to get down there. But you see some poor arm tackling and players bouncing off. Marcus will point that out in the films.
So the ball is marked on the 37-yard line. That is where the Panthers will start out. You can hear the band below us. And you can see the stand starting to fill.
Starting to fill, and you can see the defense jumping up. They're a little pumped up right now, Jim.
Oh, yes, they are. And we'll get that defensive line set for you in a second. Meanwhile, this is Brady for Bridgewater Raritan. The give, and stop number 44 tries to drag himself forward.
I tell you, that's Gandolfo, and he's a tough one.
Tom Gandolfo, you mentioned, 6 foot, 210 pounds.
They say he's a throwback, a good hard runner there.
Right, and he was responsible for making most of that, let's call it 4-yard gain.
I'll tell you, it's Costantino's interesting to see him up as a strong side safety, and he looks like a linebacker there. He's so close to the line.
Okay, on the line, as a matter of fact, you got Mark Begay, Greg Jimenez, Brian Mineta, and Keith Mahoney, and we'll catch the linebackers in a moment. 2nd and 6 for Bridgewater. They're tight now, and they stop them.
I'll tell you. Let's see who's in on that tackle.
I believe that was McManus, number 52. Was it let's see. Hard to say. Anyway, we got some other players to mention here for East Brunswick. You've got Zukas is back in at one of the linebackers. McManus is playing linebacker. Wickbird is in there. We also see Keith Mahoney, and you mentioned Batwash. And we'll catch the secondary in a moment. That is Brady back to pass. He's being rushed. Low pass that's caught for really no gain.
And I'll tell you, for the Panthers, you're right. Brady, no Stewart. Bill Stewart, just a sensational passer last year for the Panthers. And Brady, his second pass. And
well, that was Corey Stewart who caught the ball, but really for no gain. So that's going to bring up another 4th down situation for Bridgewater Raritan. Phil, real quickly, I want to get the secondary for East Brunswick as they go off the field. That was Costantino, Petty, Merrigan, and Scholl in there. We've mentioned their names already. Okay, who's deep? Petty and Merrigan again. And I believe that's Alexander in the middle. Here's the snap. Kick is off. Line drive. And Petty catches it on a line drive, and he is around, but dragged down.
I'll tell you, number 22.
Right. That is Josh Keister, who makes the tackle for the Panthers.
He just snatched Petty down.
So it looks like East Brunswick will take over on their own 25-yard line. And we'll see how the Bears do this time.
I'll tell you, Jim, if they mix it up as well as they did the first series.
Well, right now I'm impressed with the defense, Phil. They have stopped.
Doing a fine job.
We thought that Bridgewater would be a fairly good, offensive team, and thus far have shown nothing. I believe that's Costantino on the keeper.
He starts this series as he started the first series with a keeper.
And And he makes himself about 3 yards on the play. Bring up a second down and 7 yards. About 5:48 left to go in the first period. It's East Brunswick 7 and Bridgewater nothing. Cosentino on a quarterback sneak at the 8:22 mark. Made the touchdown for East Brunswick.
Okay, Petty wide left and American wide right here, Jim. Two backfield.
Cosentino keeps it. And caught by Slick Leota on that. And that's going to be good for a first down. Leota on the reception.
I'll tell you, nice soft hands by Leota. But once again, Cosentino showing a touch, Jim. You usually don't see that in young passers, young strong arm passers, but showing a fine touch there and laying it up there.
I'm a little surprised that Bridgewater is not sending more people after Cosentino. I think that's one of the things they have to be concerned is trying to pressure Cosentino. Right now, he seems to have a lot of time to throw.
I'll give that offensive line some credit for doing a good job.
American and let's see, what else we have there? Is that Pleasant to the left, or is that Hurley?
That's Hurley.
Okay. Hurley, American, and Petty all split to the left.
And Pleasant in the backfield. Pleasant gets the ball.
Nope,
No.
It's Cosentino with it. Threads the defense and makes about 6 to 7 yards on the play. You know what, Phil?
What?
This is something that we did not see in preseason scrimmages. Cosentino carrying the ball.
Well, first of all, remember, he's coming back off a shoulder injury there, and they probably didn't want to get him banged up too much, but he's running the option an awful lot. We're seeing we thought we threw away the option, but it's been run, 4 times now.
Well, you figure when you got yourself a quarterback with his size, 6'2" and almost 200 pounds. Actually, he's closer to 6'3" now. Hey, why not use him if he's quick? Cosentino, the left-hander, back to pass. Nice. Soft
I'll tell you,
touch.
good defensive effort there. Number 42 is John Nicoretta for the Panthers there. Cosentino might have put too much touch on that.
Well, I don't know. Petty was streaming down the middle, but you're right. The ball was actually arriving before Petty turned around.
Just a good defensive effort by the defender linebacker, John Nicoretti.
This is a timing pattern that East Brunswick uses, and they need to get that timing down. Once it happens, look out. Merrigan is below us, out of the picture.
Merrigan, Hurley, and Petty once again spread to the right with Pleasant in the backfield.
There we go. 3rd and 3. 3rd and about 4, as a matter of fact.
And Pleasant.
And we got a flag.
Okay, let's see.
That was close to a first down.
I think it may be holding against the Bears.
Indeed it is. All right. East Brunswick is short by about a half a yard, so Bridgewater may have to make a decision. Nope, they want to take him back. See Savage out there motioning, bring him back. I don't know, Phil. You give him another shot here now.
They give him another shot, that's true, but they've been giving up a lot of turf.
All right, the penalty will put the Bears back on the 33-yard line. That'll make it 3rd and 13. We will keep our eye on the receivers. Merrigan, Hurley,
and
Petty now are all at the bottom of your screen. Cosentino with it, elects to run with the ball, and he is taken down.
I'll tell you, interesting. Had 3 receivers spread spread right, and he rolled out left, Jim.
That was Perotti on the tackle, and that makes it 4th down and about 12 yards to go. East Brunswick will be forced into a punting situation. Stewart will be the deep back for the Panthers. Clock is running. It's 3 minutes left to go in the first period. East Brunswick ahead 7-0. Scholl will be the punter. That is not Crail doing the long snapping. And flags on the play, but Scholl gets it off. caught by Stewart, who goes up the middle. Merrigan tries to lasso, and we have another flag.
Flags all over the place, Jim.
So we're gonna have to take a second and sort all these things out.
I think there was movement. I think there was offsides, perhaps.
We might have to do this all over. We'll see. The officials down there discuss it.
They're still huddling up, Jim. Some lengthy discussion.
Yes. All right, they're asking for the Bridgewater Raritan captain.
So apparently both penalties are on the Bears.
Could be.
And Gandolfo's asking, what should we do, Coach?
Well, from the looks of things, there might be some sort of tripping penalty involved as well.
Gandolfo's still asking the coach, what should I do? Legal motion, the Bears decline. And a clip accepted.
Against Bridgewater?
No, against the Bears.
Well,
both.
Well, look where they're marching it, Phil.
It's against the Bears.
They're marching the ball back.
Oh, after possession, Jim.
But it has to be against Bridgewater.
Against Bridgewater, after they got possession, they created a clip.
Okay.
You're right.
So why?
They kept possession of the ball. They did not want them to kick again.
I understand. Okay. After all that, it's first down and 10 for Bridgewater on their own 32-yard line. This is their third possession. Brady is calling signals for the Panthers. With the ball, he's back to pass. Lofts one out and is caught by Stewart for a gain of about 6 yards on the play.
Okay, Brady's showing a nice touch there, rolled out, good fake, and got it out there to pick up about 5 yards.
Let's see where they mark it. Actually, not that many. Wow. Is this an incomplete pass? He must have been juggling the ball.
No reception apparently.
Okay.
Counter. Ooh.
Nice run by number 21. And East Brunswick thinking it was a fumble. However, that was Todd Kelly, number 21, on a good run that gives Bridgewater its first down.
And I tell you, much needed first down for the Panthers there. They really want to get something going here. And as I said, just a good run here. Bridgewater's starting to mix things up a little bit themselves.
Ball is on the 43-yard line, Bridgewater. Stewart this time.
Wow.
He gets loose and tries to follow his blocking. Merrigan finally lassos him down. He's still up.
I'll tell you, Corey Stewart, a 5'11", 180-pound junior, and of course he's the younger brother of the Panther quarterback last year, Bill Stewart.
Nonetheless, that's a first down run, and suddenly the Panthers are in East Brunswick territory. Ball is on the 38-yard line of East Brunswick.
And if you're the Bears, you want your defense to tighten up a little bit here.
Right. You got to think that the offensive line for Panthers is doing a little bit better job.
They're trapping, Jim. They're trapping, and the Panthers are doing a good job of it.
It's another counter. Looks like Kelly is lassoed down.
And that's Shull on the tackle, but the Panthers doing an excellent job of trapping, Jim. You come in there and you think you're about to tackle the would-be carrier, and somebody knocks you down.
Well, that was a 3-yard gain. No, actually a 4-yard gain, so it is 2nd and 6 for the Panthers. And they're doing this all on the ground. We're under a minute we're under a minute to play in the first quarter. It is 7-0 East Brunswick. Brady gives off to Kelly once more, who's through the line, and he drags his tacklers really right down to the first down marker. They might have to measure on this one.
I'll tell you, the Bears haven't solved it. They're doing the same thing.
And they call it a first down.
And the Panthers have the running game in gear, Jim.
Phil, a lot of arm tackling going on out there, too.
Surprisingly. Borden team is usually a well-coached, a good tackling team, but we saw that early on, and
looks like Mineta has been inserted on the defensive line. And that's Gandolfi. Bulls his head way ahead for about 7 yards.
And Bull is a good term there, just a hard nose. His coach says old-time throwback player.
Gandolfo, I'm sorry. 7-yard gain, makes it 2nd and 3 for Bridgewater Raritan. Ball's on about the 21-yard line, and that is the end of the first quarter. So the teams will move the ball down to the other end of the field.
And Marcus calling this, Nick Spadafino calling the troops to the side, defensive troops to the side. He wants to talk to them. They're giving up too much yardage, and they got to make some adjustments there.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess first 2 possessions, they just stopped them cold right up through the middle, but now all of a sudden it seems like the seas are parting.
As I said, it's the traps, Jim. If you look closely, they're just doing a fine job of it. Nick Spadafino, who's been coaching for 28 years, Jim, the defensive coordinator, they're talking to the defensive troops right now and trying to make some adjustments to stem the tide. But again, if you're a Panther fan, you gotta be feeling pretty good that you finally got something going offensively. And they're not changing up, Jim. They're not getting fancy and trying to sneak a pass in here or anything. They're going with what's working.
Well, if you're East Brunswick, Phil, defensively, what do you do to counter the trap?
If you're actually defense, the Bears play a lot of man-to-man defensively and whatnot. They knew when they scouted him that the Panthers do a lot of trapping and whatnot. It's a matter of reacting and jamming it up. The guy's coming to trap you. You got to knock him down before he gets to you.
Okay.
And jam it up and stop it at the line of scrimmage.
Well, believe it or not, the stands are there's people still coming in, actually, and there's quite a good crowd here tonight. Okay, 2nd and 3 for Bridgewater. Ball's on the 21 of East Brunswick as we begin the second quarter. Ball is handed off to, I believe that's Stewart, who breaks through, and he is in for a touchdown. East Brunswick has still not solved that.
They haven't solved it, that's for sure. Corey Stewart, 5'11", 180-pound junior. As I mentioned, his brother, Billy Stewart, was the all-conference quarterback last year for the Panthers, and his younger brother picking up right where he left off. And they look like they'll kick for the extra point here, Jim. Usually the teams line up over there, then they shift over as the Panthers are doing.
Right, and kicking is number 1, Mike Delita. High snap. Delita, though, it bounces off, and it is not good.
I tell you, we've seen a lot of strange things in extra points, certainly on the pro levels this year, Jim.
You betcha.
And
yes, we have.
Yes, we have. Delito, a little bad luck there, hitting the goalpost and
well, I think
ball
it started, Phil.
back.
It started when whoever was holding the ball for Bridgewater had a high snap. And wasn't that the problem for the professionals? I'll tell you what, it really magnifies the importance of a good center snap.
It magnifies the good center snap, a good holder.
Yep.
And teamwork, working together and getting that ball off.
All right, so East Brunswick, off that missed extra point, retains a lead. It is now 7-6 in favor of the Bears. They've had 2 possessions. The first one, they were perfect on. Marched all the way down the field to score. Second one wasn't so successful. And I can imagine that Spadafino is going to have a few words to say to his defense.
Well, Nick's pretty cool and whatnot. And Marcus is talking to Nick right now. And Marcus wants some adjustments made there. Marcus has seen him march down the field without the Bears being able to stop it. He wants some defensive adjustments to be made.
Okay. Petty and Merrigan, as they have been all night, are deep backs for the Bears. This is Petty with the ball. He goes right up the pipe, has a seam, through,
Ooh.
Almost breaks the tackle, and it looks to me like it was number 88 who made that tackle. That was Nutting.
I'll tell you, Nutting and one other player was there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Adam Petty might have been on his way to the races.
Okay, so with that nice run back, East Brunswick gets decent field position. They're on their own 44-yard line where they will start off. We're just underway in the second quarter. 11:43 to go. East Brunswick leading 7-6.
And if you're the Bears, you really do want to get something going again here. You sort of had a nice drive that first drive, and then a few mental mistakes caused the breakdown, so they want to get back in the flow here.
All right, this is Scholl and Merrigan, and now Petty goes to the right. So you have 3 receivers for East Brunswick. There's a pass to Merrigan. He takes it, cuts inside.
Okay, Merrigan on a simple slant in there. And again, you look at Costantino, it just really effortlessly, just very calmly. I mean, you got to understand, Jim, this is his first varsity game. Did not play it all last year, and yet he looks exceedingly comfortable out there.
Right. And with that gain of 6 yards, it makes it, well, we'll call it a 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5 for the Bears. Ball's on the 49-yard line. And we're going to try to set these receivers each time. Now it's Merrigan, the lone receiver on the left side. You got Petty and Scholl on the right. Costantino drops back. Finds a receiver,
Ooh.
Petty, and who drops it. Ball was right in his gut.
I'll tell you this, he had some mustard on that. Costantino throwing it in there. And all fairness to Petty, he did have a defender who had a hand in there, Jim.
Okay, incomplete pass, so that brings up a 3rd down situation for East Brunswick.
But Costantino did rifle it in.
I got to tell you, East Brunswick's receivers have been open.
That's for sure.
They have.
Okay, big 3rd down play right here.
And now all the receivers are to the right. That's Pleasant, Merrigan, and Petty. A little bit of a rush. Who do we have here?
Pleasant,
and I believe the tackle, he was tackled forward.
He may have gotten the first.
Well, it all depends where it's marked.
Ooh.
Boy, they brought him back.
A bad mark, I tell you.
It was a terrible mark.
He's still rather close.
Probably enough so that East Brunswick will go for it. They have about a yard to go. Let's see.
I don't think they'll go for it if they're short, Jim.
Well, the ball's on about the 47-yard line, Phil. We will wait.
I think they're feeling it's too early in the game to mess around with field position. They're going to punt.
All right. That is Scholl that it will be kicking. Stewart will be back. He's been doing a good job on punt returns.
Ooh, Scholl.
Last time it was a poor snap. This time it's
Ooh.
Scholl drops it.
Oh, mercy.
And is snowed under.
I'll tell you.
Really, it was a good snap.
I was getting ready to say, looking at this left side, maybe Scholl should be looking up and whatnot, and maybe that's what he was looking at there, Jim, because he had some space to run there. Simply took his eyes off the ball for a brief second, and it cost him.
Cost him dearly. So instead of putting Bridgewater in deep in its own territory, Panthers now get the ball on the East Brunswick 44-yard line, 1st down. They have the momentum.
And you know what they're going to do. They're coming with that counter, Jim, until the Bears stop them.
Brady, actually, he's back to pass. Pass is complete.
And I tell you what he did. He faked off it and came up with the pass there. And, of course, Godolfo, number 44, Guy Badinskak, the tight end, actually making the reception there. So the Panthers mixing it up themselves.
Gain of about 7 on the play. 2nd and 3 for Bridgewater Raritan, who now seem to be in a rhythm.
Here's the counter again. Kelly with it. He's through. And Scholl is trying to track him down, but he does knock him out of bounds on about the 4-yard line.
I'll tell you.
Somebody down for East Brunswick back here. I got to tell you, that he was through that line in a heartbeat.
It's the trap, Jim. And we do have a player down.
Not quite sure who that is.
I see both the Bridgewater Panther trainer and Phil Hostler out there checking out the player. And
meanwhile, the players will take a rest. And meanwhile, Bridgewater will have a first down on the 4-yard line. East Brunswick in trouble again.
And Marcus Boarding walking out to the injured player right now.
Let's see who that is. Whoever it is up. It's number 63. That was Jimenez, who is walking rather gingerly off the field.
One of the leaders of the defense there. He is walking rather gingerly, but nevertheless, Jim, once again, a fine run by the Panthers, and
well, I got to tell you,
they
Phil,
almost scored.
Ball's on the 4-yard line, and this is usually tough down territory, but East Brunswick has not shown any ability in the last 2 series to be able to stop the Panthers from advancing the ball. So we'll have to see if their defense can stiffen up. 9:04 left to go in the second period. It is East Brunswick ahead 7-6, holding on to that lead.
Look for Gandolfi right here.
He's the lone back, gets the ball, and he's not in though. I think he made about 2 yards on the play. It's hard to see from here. Let's see where they marked the ball. Well, actually, they're going to give him about 1. Gain of 1 on the play. Ball's resting on the 3-yard line.
Glenn Nutty going wide right here.
East Brunswick defense tight on the line. Kelly with it. He slants in, and that is a touchdown. Boy, I got to tell you, number 28. I'm sorry, that was Stewart on the play.
Corey Stewart, of course.
Stewart who scored.
Once again, Stewart scores.
And he is a fine back. So a 3-yard touchdown run gives Bridgewater its first lead of the evening. It is 13-7, and we have a timeout on the field. It looks like Bridgewater is going to talk it over, perhaps go for 2.
Maybe, Jim, but you see Nick Spadafino walking out to the defense right now, and it's a matter of solving the puzzle.
Well, East Brunswick has shown that he can move the ball, but one of the liabilities sometimes of like I say, the passing attack is you got to have the guys hold on to the football. That's something to keep it going.
Well, they haven't done that badly offensively, Jim. The fact is, ever since that first series, defensively, they have not been able to stop Stewart.
Right. 12-7 is the score. And let's see now. Let's see if they do. I do not see the kicker on the field for the Panthers. That's Delita. Well, the band starts it up at the wrong time.
And they are going for 2, Jim.
Yes, they are. Gandolfo is the lone back once more. Brady calls it. Gives it to Stewart, however, who is stopped.
And a fine job by the right side of the defense there, Jim. Not allowing Stewart to get in there.
Okay, so with that missed extra point or extra 2-point attempt, the score remains 12-7. The Panthers do take the lead, however. And some breakdowns on a couple of special teams situations. that success with the trap play.
Right.
And 2 quick scores by the Panthers have given them the lead.
Giving them the lead and giving them some confidence, Jim. And what the Bears have to do is get things going offensively again themselves, and they may have to outscore them.
Boy, if it gets down to a shootout, you never know. But we've seen a few of those through the years.
Sure.
Looks like Merrigan and Petty.
Pleasant and Hurley.
Well, look at this setup here. It's a very interesting setup on the kickoff return team.
You mean with the
like
two
2, 2, and 2?
Yeah.
You basically got 5 linemen, and then you've got 2, 2, and 2. And the 2 that are deep are Petty and Merrigan. Hurley and Pleasant are the next 2. And we got, and that ball is kicked nicely. Let's see if Hurley can hold on to it. Bobbles it. And they're down there to meet him this time. Gets
He's
away.
still going.
Gets away.
Oh.
Momentarily, he had a little bit of room.
And brings it out to the 25.
So East Brunswick will start on its own 25-yard line. And Costantino will start once more.
Okay, it'd be interesting to see if, in fact, they will attempt to throw from this dangerous area here.
Other than, I believe, Leota one time, every time East Brunswick has run the ball, it's been Costantino.
On the first down.
1st and 10, East Brunswick on its own 25-yard line. Costantino gives off to Leota. Gets about a yard on the play.
And John Nicoretta, again, fine linebacker, is there to make the stop for the Panthers.
Okay, well, let's give him 2 yards on that. 2nd and 8. This is Costantino back to pass. Petty drops it. Ball was fired very hard,
and I'll tell you,
behind Petty.
And I'll tell you, not to make any excuse for Petty, but again, that dislocated knuckle or whatever injury that he had to his hand, and there's some question about whether he would be able to hold on to the ball. And this is probably the first time he's usually had it covered for the last week in practice.
Okay.
And there's some question about with the glove on his hand, would he be able to still hold on to the ball?
All right. Well, you've got Stewart on Merrigan. So that's a good matchup right there. 3rd and 8. Costantino tries to throw deep. Merrigan and
I'll tell you, I find
Stewart was
fine defensive job there. He's shielding him out and whatnot.
He did a nice job of preventing Merrigan from turning in.
And again, Costantino had Nicoretta, John Nicoretta, the linebacker, in his face, and somehow still got that ball off with a nice touch.
And it was really the same play that East Brunswick was successful on.
That's right.
In its touchdown drive, this side of the field, and Stewart was right there with him.
Stewart did a good job. Corey Stewart, again.
Who is your deep back? Scholl now will try to get this one off. Like I say, special teams have been a problem. This time he's successful. Spiral that's going to bounce, take a good bounce for East Brunswick. And ball will wind up on about the 38-yard line. So now it is up to the defense to turn the tide. Bridgewater scoring on its last 2 possessions rather easily.
And it's a matter of stepping up and making a play, Jim.
Right.
You got to disrupt what the Panthers are doing.
Well, they've been using the pass just enough to keep East Brunswick honest. Brady, number 12, is the quarterback. Gandolfo, whistle on the play. We got a flag.
We lined up in the neutral zone.
We being East Brunswick?
Yeah. I mean, stepped over.
Okay. And that's what the call will be. And plays like this, boy, I'll tell you what, when you're looking to get an edge.
That's just mental breakdowns there, right? And it really upsets coaches there because it's a giveaway.
Sure is. Makes it 1st and 5 for the for the Panthers. Ball's on the 43-yard line. 7:08 to go in the second quarter. It is 12-7 Bridgewater. Brady back to pass. Open
Nutting.
is Nutting.
I'll tell you. And a fine catch. Glenn Nutting, 6 feet, 170 pounds, wide receiver.
Makes it first down.
Does a simple look in to get the first down there.
And Bridgewater advances the ball down to the East Brunswick 46. All righty. Gandolfo. Still with it.
I'll tell you,
moving more laterally than anything else.
Right, he's the bull.
Yeah. Finally brought down after about a yard gain, but nonetheless, you see his power there.
His power, but the Bears doing a good job there. Brian Mineta, particularly that time. Okay, we can look for Corey Stewart here.
That is Stewart with the ball. He dances around, gets away from one tackle, and then he's met by the linebackers.
Okay, good job by the Bears.
Right.
Contain him anyway.
Let's see who was in on that tackle. We haven't been able to get the numbers. That was 62 for East Brunswick, Mineta.
That's Mineta again.
Sure. Gain of about 5 yards on the play makes it 3rd and 5. Call it. Counter once more. That was number 21. I believe he has enough for the first down. You know, Brady is doing nothing more than waiting for the blocking to set up.
That's right.
They're starting to do a very nice job. Well, now they mark it back at about the 40, well, let's say the 36-yard line, and they're going to take a look at it.
It should be a first, nevertheless, Jim.
Yeah, it does look like it. Yes, it is a first down. And Phil, what is happening is something that we were hoping wouldn't, and that is, it looks like Bridgewater's starting to dominate the line play.
Well, not the dominating line play. Like, again, it's the trap. If you've ever been trapped, Jim, you think you're there and you're just about to make a tackle, and then somebody comes and smacks you and knocks you down. If that happens enough time, you make some adjustments yourself. Pitch.
Number 42 with it.
And Costantino putting that shoulder.
Nicoretta was the ball carrier. He gets about 6 yards on it. And I got to tell you, Bridgewater's playing very intelligent football. They're just taking what East Brunswick's giving them.
I told you they have the running game, and they want to control the ball. As I said at the top of the game, they just want to control it and have these nice long drives. Keep the ball out of the Bears' hands.
Flag on the play. And apparently it's an illegal procedure. We don't know why.
That's against the Panthers.
Unfortunately, they don't elaborate on a legal procedure. Could be any number of things.
Okay, so it moves it back 5.
And that loss of yardage will make it about, well, actually 2nd and 9 now. Well, the way they've been moving the ball, I have to tell you, hasn't made that much difference. This is the opportunity East Brunswick wants to try to shut down this offense for Bridgewater. They've been doing things very efficiently. Brady.
That's that counter.
Yeah, number 42, still on his feet.
I'll tell you, Nicoretta, John Nicoretta.
And that ball was almost fumbled by Brady, believe it or not. He was just able to get the handoff to Nicoretta. But nonetheless, the running back moves the ball for first down yardage.
And Brady doing a fine job of using different backs, Jim.
Yes, he is.
To keep this drive alive.
So the ball is marked on the 18-yard line, and once again, East Brunswick has to do the job. They're knocking on the door.
Counter.
Yes. That was Kelly, the ball carrier. And gets about 4 yards. Clock is down to 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. Bridgewater looking to extend its 12-7 lead. East Brunswick scored first, and then Bridgewater came back on 2 touchdowns. Second and 7. We'll call it. Brady. This time they wrap
All
up,
right.
Stewart.
And fine job by the defense there.
Well, they penetrated that time, Phil. Linebackers in particular.
And that's what you have to do, penetration to disrupt them. Get there before they can trap you.
Right, and actually that was a loss on the play. One of the few tonight by Bridgewater Raritan. Brings it back to the 17, making it 3rd and 8.
Okay, watch for Glenn Nutting, spread right here.
Brady is back to pass, being pursued. Lofts one, and in the end zone, it's caught.
He's out of bounds, Tim.
Was he?
Oh,
No, it
I
wasn't.
thought he was.
No,
They're
Phil.
calling touchdown.
Yeah, that was a touchdown. That was caught by number 46.
I'll tell
But
you.
Nizik, no, he was in bounds all the way. I had the glasses on him,
Okay,
and he had a lot of room there before he went out of bounds.
I'm just saying, Brady rolling left there.
So Budnitzik catches an 18-yard touchdown pass from Brady. Play touchdown coming at the 1:58 mark. We have a player down for the Panthers, number 55. That's Rumor.
And he's up.
Up, okay. And I imagine they will go for a 2-point conversion here.
I'll tell you, Badidskak, guy, 6 feet, 190 pounds, showing good hands there.
Boy, how the tides have turned, huh?
I'll tell you.
East Brunswick starting out like they were going to just walk up and down the field, and then Bridgewater righted itself after 2 dismal possessions and have scored the last 3 times they have had the ball. So it is 18-7, and this is the 2-point conversion. Brady back to pass, and he is, there's a flag. Ball is actually caught.
He's down, Jim.
Now he's down. Number 42, that was Nicoretta. And what are they calling here? Nonetheless, it was no good, so it was actually holding. Okay, so that the score will remain 18-7 in favor of the Bridgewater Raritan Panthers.
And I think that's Mineta in there again, putting the pressure on.
And you got some defensive players here hanging their heads, Mr. Hill.
Well, they just better get them up, Jim. There's no time to hang heads. They got a minute 58 in this half and another half to play.
Well, what you can say is with a player like Cosentino's ability and the passing emphasis, it doesn't take long to get back into the
They
game.
have the big play potential to catch up, that's for sure, but they got to do some scoring with those possessions.
Indeed, they do.
If the defense isn't going to be able to stop the Panthers in the long drives, then the Bears are going to have to score quickly.
Right. The liability, I would say Bridgewater Raritan has done an adequate job defensively, but I think it's more so that the receivers and the quarterback have not connected with each other for whatever the reason. So we find Dalita kicking off once more. And also Petty and Merrigan are deep backs for East Brunswick. Here we go. Ball is kicked very nicely. Petty takes it in on about the 3-yard line. Will advance the ball. And nice tackle. Good solid tackle by Bridgewater. I think I was 54 making that tackle. Robert Lohr. And so East Brunswick again in deep in its own territory, about the 22-yard line. They have 1 minute and 50 seconds left to go.
1 minute 50 seconds to go, and they talk about the 2-minute no-back Frisco set, which is something they can use at any time. It'd be interesting to see if they come out with their 2-minute offense right here.
Oh, you got to think they will, because there's 2 minutes to go in the period. Okay. Cosentino. Pleasant is in the backfield. Cosentino looks to his receiver, Merrigan, who catches it, but only for a short gain, about 5 yards.
About 5 yards, Jim.
Yeah. And Merrigan gets up a little slow. And you're right, they're in the drill.
The Frisco set, they can do a lot of things off it, Jim.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Cosentino.
That's a little movement by Pleasant.
Looks. And we have a flag on the play.
It's called back anyway. A little movement in the backfield by Pleasant.
Okay, stop. The clock is stopped. East Brunswick does not realize that there is a flag on the play. Well, there's discussion with Bridgewater, but there shouldn't be. I'm sure they're going to take this penalty.
Take the penalty, of course.
Right. And that's going to bring the ball back to about the 20-yard line, or 22. All right, now, does the clock start on this? Yes, it does. And East Brunswick is in the huddle now. Maybe they do not realize that the clock is running.
Marcus is saying, let's get going.
Cosentino whips it, a low pass, though.
I'll tell you, the throwing short, you got to wonder.
Yeah, that was Merrigan on the reception, but that really does little.
They're throwing real short here. And
a lot of valuable time is being lost, too. 3rd down and 5, we'll call it. Cosentino, crisscross pattern. Now he throws it long, but that was in no man's land.
Dangerous pass. He threw that off the back foot while he's going down. And
2, 4,
and here's
6,
the flag
7.
here.
Now we have another flag, and it looks like it was called on an East Brunswick player as he was moving back to the line. Might have been Petty, Phil. Let's see what we got. No. I was a little premature there.
It's against the Panthers.
Meanwhile, the clock stops with 32 seconds. What was that foul all about?
It appears to be an unsportsmanlike, Jim. It's a big one. You were right with Petty going back to the huddle, but apparently one of the Panthers did or said something to him, and the official was right there.
Okay, that 15-yard mark-off gives East Brunswick a 1st down on the 43, 32 seconds. And a long pass, but it looks like Stewart was waiting for it.
And
fortunate that one wasn't picked off.
American turned into the defender there, sort of shook the ball loose.
Well, the difficulty with this situation is that Bridgewater Raritan is expecting a long pass.
Exactly. They're putting pressure on Cosentino.
Right.
The defense is blowing in there. Somehow he's getting the ball off, but 2 dangerous passes the last 2.
And that makes it 2nd down and 42 yards. 42. Ball on the 42-yard line. Excuse me, 26 seconds left to go in the period. Bridgewater ahead 18-7. 3 back set. Merrigan gathers it in, has a little room here.
He's short of the first.
Now East Brunswick will call a timeout, I believe. Yes, they do. Clock shows 16 seconds. Ball is at midfield.
And you see Marcus Borden going out to the troops, setting up one lap, perhaps two more plays.
Well, that's about all he's going to be able to get off. I'm not sure if East Brunswick used any, if they have any. I think they have more timeouts left. I'm not quite sure. If you just joined us, East Brunswick did score on its opening possession. Really marched down the field and showed also good defensive ability by stopping the Panthers on their 2 first possessions. But after that, it's been all Bridgewater. They have scored each time they've gotten the ball, 3 touchdowns, and for various and sundry reasons have missed extra points on kicks, 2-point tries and whatever, and it's still 18-7. Costantino with his receivers to the top. Quick pass in, little pass was low. Really just token resistance by the line by Bridgewater. They're really putting their cards on their defensive backs.
Well, it's 4th down, Jim, right now.
Yes.
And
3 ticks went off the clocks, 13 seconds showing.
The question is, you may...
Well, they do have, I believe, 2 timeouts, so they're going to have to
but they got to
spend one here on getting the first down. Here comes Gandolfo. Pass low again, and let's see.
He got it.
It is complete. So East Brunswick will spend another timeout. Ball is on the 43-yard line. And I guess we're going to get to see Ryan's arm here. Lofting to the end zone.
I suspect nothing to lose at this juncture here. I think you're going to see, you're right, Jim. That line's going to have to give him some time to loften up there and hopefully come up with something.
So the crowd is somewhat deflated after watching their team jump out to that lead and then watching the Panthers just mechanically come back and take control of this game.
He's got 2 options here, to put it up there, or they have Pleasant in there. They could try to surprise everybody with a draw.
That's a possibility. Here comes Bridgewater. Down the middle, complete to Petty. Nope, incomplete. Another low throw.
2 seconds left. You got to throw to the end zone now.
Yeah.
And the Bears call their last timeout.
Do they? Yes.
Borden shuffling in players as the Panthers go to the sideline to talk to their defensive coordinator.
Well, there can't be too much mystery as to what we're going to see here. And like I say, you got that that draw play.
Well, I thought they might do that, but now I think they're going to try to hope to get a pass off and put it up there.
Well, we look at the sidelines, and no one seems to be injured for East Brunswick. So that's a good thing.
Did Jimenez bounce back?
No, they're actually, Greg, I can see, is actually sitting on the bench now that we look.
Yeah.
I have to believe his ankle or his knee is bothering him.
And that really hurts them, really.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Now we got a shotgun situation.
And
first time we've seen this tonight.
Marcus has to get off the field.
Whoops. Costantino finds room, lofts a good pass. Oh, tell you what.
Mercy.
That almost connected.
I'll tell you, good defensive effort there.
Yeah, really. Beautiful pass by Costantino.
I'll tell you, he's got the arm, and he just showed it off right there.
That pass was just knocked away, and I have to tell you, if Merrigan caught that, he would have dove into the end zone for a touchdown. So that's going to do it at halftime. The score is Bridgewater 18 and East Brunswick 7. just to quickly recount the scoring, East Brunswick scored at the 8:22 mark of the first period when Costantino snuck into the end zone on a quarterback sneak, if you call it that. We expected it, and it was 7-0 East Brunswick. And then it was Stewart at the 11:52 mark on a 21-yard run. Stewart one more time with a 3-yard run at 8:22, and then finally Budnatzik, an 18-yard pass reception from Brady at 1:58 left to go in the second period, and the score is 18-7. So, Phil, any quick comment before we take a break?
Just looking at that last pass there, you think maybe perhaps the Bears may come out in the second half and just really open it up.
Yeah.
Just let everything out to see what they can do. If you're the Panthers, on the other hand, you got to be very pleased with your running game, and they're going to stick with that.
Okay. All right, so the score is 18-7. We are halftime here at J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick and Bridgewater. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with the second half action in just a moment. Okay, we are back at J. Doyle Field where we're about to begin the second half of action. East Brunswick finds itself down 18-7 against Bridgewater Raritan. Phil, it was a good show of offense by Bridgewater Raritan once they righted themselves.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, good show of offense, I think, but I think you got to believe that, and you know for a fact, that Marcus has gone in at half, has made some adjustments, and defensively, certainly against that counter, they're going to be a lot tougher.
Well, yeah, from the defensive side of the ball, you know that they have to make some adjustments to prevent those wide open runs, really off the right up through the middle, actually, in some situations.
Right.
The trap, as you mentioned, was working rather well. But offensively, other than that first drive, East Brunswick has been victimized by some plays, penalties, you know, the usual sort of thing.
Well, we made excuses for a few of the players, legitimate excuses. But the fact is, matter is they got to start catching the ball.
Right.
I suspect they don't have to go away from their game plan at this juncture here, but I suspect you may certainly see the ball in the air a little bit more and maybe a little deeper.
Okay. Yeah, and we only saw the shotgun on the last play, but I'll tell you what, given a lot of room and time, Cosentino can see the field a lot better.
Well, he's a pocket passer. He's a drop-back passer, and you know, has the excellent tools if given the time.
Okay, as we had seen a number of times in the first half, Merrigan and Petty will be the deep backs. Excuse me, that is not. Okay, it is. All right, it is Petty. Thought I saw an extra number out there, but
that's all right. A petty mistake on your part. We won't hold it against you.
Okay. Well, you guys don't have to laugh. Okay.
All right.
That just adds fuel to his fire. All right, Delita for Bridgewater kicks off to begin the second half. And another nice long kick gathered in by Petty, who goes right up the pipe. Now he tries to find a seam, but it was closed off nicely by the Panthers.
I'll tell you.
East Brunswick again starting deep in its own territory.
And Petty knows, will learn certainly, when you're trying to do that switch over there, you got to do it in one motion.
Right.
You can't go up there, step across and try to pull out.
Delita has been very impressive as a kicker. He has gotten the ball deep on most every opportunity that he's had. And one of the problems for the Bears has been field position, starting deep in its own area.
That's for sure.
Yeah, now they've got 80 yards they have to go.
But they have the capability of doing it, as we saw in the first half, Jim.
All right, let's see what is different about the adjustments that are made.
This is a normal two-back set here.
Right, with your 3 wide receivers. Cosentino gives off to Leota up the pipe. He's got room. He's through the middle and advances the ball all the way to the 47-yard line.
I tell you, Russ Leota, number 32, the Brooklyn connection, with a fine run there, and that may be what they need to get them sparked, Jim.
Right.
God, if you can make them respect that middle of the line there, then you can do an awful lot of things there. Nice run by the fella.
And the first down for East Brunswick gives them a breath of fresh air that they so desperately needed.
I had field position, Jim.
Right. Ball's on the 47-yard line. Still in East Brunswick territory. Petty is split wide to the top side. Merrigan down below. Petty is also joined by Hurley. Cosentino. Is that Pleasant? Or
it's Leota again.
Russ Leota once again the ball carrier, and a fairly good gain of 4 yards.
And Russ has always been a good inside runner, and showing his talents right there.
Right. So we'll make it a second and a long 6 for the Bears. We are underway in the second half, where Bridgewater has an 18-7 lead over East Brunswick.
And you might see Merrigan on this slanting right here.
Merrigan and just Petty are wide. Cosentino keeps.
Going long.
There's Petty. Nope.
I'll tell you, He had
Yeah, Petty was open.
streaking down the right side there.
And Cosentino elects to throw it in the
I'll
middle.
tell you, a little play action there,
Right.
and I tell you, he had time if he could have stepped back. And Petty streaking down the right-hand side with far beyond his defender.
Scholl was the intended receiver. He seemed a little bit surprised that it was coming to him. Nonetheless, it's a third down with that incomplete pass. About six and a half yards to go. Merrigan and Petty again the wideouts. Here comes Gandolfo, and they rack him up this time.
I'll tell you the mistake there.
Well, it was a little bit of a flip-flop.
Well, the point is, Ryan is going with the play action and to keep them honest when the defense knew full well they were going to pass.
Absolutely.
So you waste a little time with the play action instead of just dropping back and getting the ball off. They were coming anyway.
Well, that was the first time that Cosentino has actually been sacked, and an unfortunate time for East Brunswick, because that makes it a fourth down now, and Bridgewater will get possession. Scholl will be back deep to punt for East Brunswick. He is on his own 30-yard line. Good snap, gets off a nice rolling kick, and takes a bounce. Good bounce for East Brunswick. And now Stewart will elect to let it land right at about the 13-yard line. So at least East Brunswick is able to get the ball deep in Bridgewater territory.
Okay, two concerns for the Bears. Number one, getting your off. Number two, you setting your defense, which we'll find out about. But number two, getting your offense going again.
Yes, indeed. All right, we'll see what adjustments East Brunswick has made in its defense to try and thwart this Bridgewater running attack. Brady calling signals for the Panthers. Give is to Kelly, and Kelly gets about 2.5, 3 yards on the play.
And Matt Zuka's in on the tackle there.
I have to believe he's related to Doug.
He's related to Doug Zuka.
Fine goaltender for the East Brunswick soccer team.
What an excellent game he played against St. Joe's the other night.
What a fine goaltender, basketball player, baseball player. This guy's got a 4.4 grade point average. I got to tell you, he is so far out ahead of the rest of the pack, it isn't funny.
Okay, back to football.
2nd and 7. Nice give up the middle.
That's Gandolfo.
Right. No, actually, it's number 42, Phil.
Okay, that's Nicoretta, who's actually came on strong in that second quarter there, running the ball, Jim.
Nicoretta gets about 5 on the play. It brings up about a 3rd and 3.
He's a good-sized kid. He's 190, 6 feet 190.
And this is a good time as any for East Brunswick to stop Bridgewater. Nice give and run. That is Stewart, who ran the ball successfully for a first down. And I got to tell you, Phil, nothing fancy, but boy, they're just churning up the first downs.
This hard-nosed smash mouth coming right at you.
Yep. It's up to the Bears to stop them. First down for Bridgewater. Another counter, this time, well, look at that. The pile was moving forward. Nicoretta was once again the ball carrier, and he got himself about 5 yards on that play.
They have some nice power runners there, Jim.
And East Brunswick calls timeout. Interesting.
Right. And once again, Nick Spadafino, defensive coordinator, walking out on the field.
Well,
apparently not satisfied with what he's seen early in the half. So,
whatever adjustments were made, apparently they have not done the job, because Spadafino would not have called that timeout.
Well, right, but they haven't allowed the big play, the big run.
It's true.
So he may be just fine-tuning it right now.
Okay.
And as I said, Nick Spadafino, 28 years in coaching. And you see Nick, he looks like a really young guy. He's always looked like a young guy for the last 14 years.
28 years as a coach?
28 years as a coach. He's
outstanding.
Yeah.
And there's some Spadafinos in Old Bridge, I believe, that are excellent athletes.
Well, Nicole was one of his daughters who was an excellent soccer player. Okay.
We have a 2nd down and 5 for the Panthers. Keeper by Brady.
Okay, and a good
that
job.
time they stop him. What do we got there on the tackle? .52 on that play by McManus. 3rd and about, well, we'll give him 1 yard on the play. 3rd and a long 4. And offensive line for Bridgewater has done the job almost every time. Let's see if they do it again. Pitch out to Nicoretta and bounces around. Let's see if he had enough. I think he's going to be a little bit short.
I'll tell you, American came up first.
Just a bit short. Borden comes out to the field to plead his case about where he was down, Nicoretta, and he did get a good spot on it, I will tell you. 6 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the 3rd period. 18-7 Bridgewater. And guess what? First down. And I got to tell you, I think Marcus has himself a little bit of a beef. They stretched that ball out when he went down.
Okay, nevertheless, first down.
Another one. And meanwhile, Bridgewater is eating up a lot of clock.
Well, that's, as I said, Jim, that's the name of the game. Ball control, long drives.
And that's what Savage said on the outset. This is what they needed to do. 1st and 10 once again for the Panthers. Brady finds himself in no man's land. However, gets off the pass and incomplete.
And once again, Mike McManus putting the pressure on Brady.
Right, he was in a race.
Forced him to roll left.
And, you know, Brady is walking off like he, I don't know whether he pulled a muscle or whatever.
Looks all right.
He looks all right.
And there's no timeout.
Some of the water girls were coming out onto the field. Team managers, let's call them that.
Okay.
2nd and 10 for Bridgewater. And
Stewart
finally stopped.
Excellent job.
Who made that initial stop for East Brunswick? He came over on the weak side. Number 62 was the one that made that initial stop. That was Mineta.
And number 80.
Number 80?
Yep.
Okay. That would be Rob King.
No, I don't.
Come on, you got to help me with these names, my friend.
I don't think maybe it's the wrong number. 60.
60? Okay, then that would be Chris Corsali. Loss of 1 makes it 3rd and 11. And King, number 12, Brady finds it.
Gets it off.
Completes it. You know, expecting the pass, and they still completed it like that. Boy, that has to hurt. Keister was the one that completed that. Was on received it. And that's good for a first down. Phil, other than those first 2 possessions, Bridgewater has not had to punt the ball.
No, they've been on a roll.
Pitches to Nicoretta, who is lassoed by number 50, Zukas.
Okay, Matt Zukas coming up very nicely.
And it looks to me as though Nicoretta was maybe lost a yard on that play, or actually back to the line of scrimmage. Clock continues to advance. 4:24 left to go in period 3.
2nd and 10, and the Bears have really got to stop them, Jim, here.
Yeah, we're at the point now where these stops have to occur. Brady back to pass. He's being hounded, but he drops a nice one to Stewart, who makes a fine catch and runs for a first down.
And Shaw hurt himself. Kevin Shaw making the tackle there, number 27.
See that? Yep.
And he's down, but he pops back up.
Another first down for the Panthers. And they advance the ball down to the 24-yard line. Shaw will come out of the game briefly. Seems to be okay. And this is a, I would say, disheartened East Brunswick defense.
Well, they've been out on the field a long time, and they really haven't stopped the Panthers.
Brady gives up the middle to Nicoretta, who is in, untouched, really. And at 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, the score is now Bridgewater 24 and East Brunswick 7.
And the Panthers are clicking on all gears now. They're mixing it up, giving it to different backs, and just doing a good job. The offensive line's doing an excellent job opening up holes.
Yep.
And these guys are running right through them.
And DeLuda puts it through. Bridgewater finally electing to go to kick an extra point.
I tell you, part of it is what has happened now, Jim, is that the defense has been out on the field quite a long time.
Yes.
And when your offense comes in and doesn't hold the ball for any length of time, that forces your defense back out there, and they're tired already, so it creates problems. They haven't been able to stop them, but they've been out there too long. Offense has to control the ball a little bit more, or at least score.
Right.
Go ahead and score.
And I got to think Bridgewater's feeling pretty good about themselves. They were a little uncertain as to what they could accomplish this year, but it looks to me as though they have filled their holes rather nicely. And they are certainly a potent offense.
They got a fine ground game, running attack there. Like I said, they use what they have, and they got a bevy of backs.
And it looks to me, based on your writing here, Phil, that they're going to be heading to play Phillipsburg next week.
Ooh, mercy.
Yeah, state liners.
Always tough.
Decent football up there. So that will be a real test. Okay, DeLuda will kick off. Seems like he's been kicking off all every 5 minutes here. But East Brunswick will see if they can get something going. A line drive, bouncing ball. That's picked up by Pleasant, who goes right up the middle. Nailed a couple of times.
And I'll tell you, fine tackle, number 48 for the Panthers.
48, that would be Budniczak. We've called his number a couple of times.
Okay. That's a different Budniczak. That's his brother, apparently.
Okay.
One's Guy and the other is...
All right, nonetheless, East Brunswick will take over now on its own 33-yard line. They got a long road to climb to get back into this game. It's 25-7, Bridgewater. Cosentino back to throw. He's being hounded.
I'll tell you.
And there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Guys.
I count 6. Rushing. And boy, I'll tell you what. You You got to wonder about Costantino's health on that one.
Wow.
He was nailed.
They're going to have to do something to counterbalance that,
Sure.
Jim. They're just blowing in there.
Now, Costantino actually looks like it's equipment.
Yeah.
I thought he had equipment trouble there for a second. He has to get his shoulder pads back in place. They've been knocked around.
So they may do a quick hit counter themselves, or
Well, we saw the shotgun initially, and maybe they'll utilize that. It's really only a four-man front for Bridgewater right now. Costantino holds on to, pitches it, fumbled.
mercy.
That was never connected. And looks like East Brunswick has recovered its own fumble. Hurley was, the pitch was just so hard. Hurley never had a chance to catch it.
At the option, and
Yeah.
we've been here many years. Very seldom do we see the pitch, Jim. If you remember Scott Hobbs last year, when he ran the option, most of the times he kept it. Pitch there really almost cost them once again.
And Phil, I got to tell you, this looks like a very shaken East Brunswick team. They look very, very unsteady right now.
Well, what you have is a confident Panther team in here, and they know the Bears are
reeling. They're
probably
reeling.
have to pass, so they're going to be blown in once again.
You got it.
There you go.
Draw play, but
And
they caught him.
They left a man home.
Early.
What's his?
And not a good sequence for East Brunswick. They're going to have to punt. They're back on their own 19-yard line, 4th down. Meanwhile, we have 1:15 left to go in the 3rd quarter. 25-7 in favor of Bridgewater. And what started out so promising for East Brunswick, a 7-0 lead on their first possession, that lead has dissipated, and Bridgewater has scored literally the last 4 times it's touched the ball.
Shaw back to kick once again.
Seems to be okay. Almost blocked.
There should be a flag. No, appeared that Shaw was hit.
Ball is picked up by Bridgewater, but 4 East Brunswick tacklers get after him. And right at the 45-yard line.
Shaw was hit unless they're just saying he did a super fakey.
Well, the only thing I can
job.
think of is that maybe the Bridgewater guy tipped the ball.
Okay.
So the Panthers will have excellent field position. Scholl still limping a little bit, Phil, as he comes off the field. And once again, that Panther machine will get an opportunity. Jimenez, by the way, is on the bench.
He's
Does
still on
not
the bench.
appear to be ready to get in the game.
I'll tell you, a big loss for the Bears today.
Brady, as he has all night, calling signals. Gives to Nicoretta. This time he's lassoed.
I'll tell you.
And might have even lost a half a yard on the play.
A fine job there for the Bears.
You got some numbers, Phil?
Chris Sulik, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, we'll call it no gain on the play. And clock shows 10 seconds left. They'll probably get this play off. Brady gives to Kelly. He has a lot of room. And
wow.
Just tackled.
I'll tell you.
Merrigan was finally able to get a hand on him.
Merrigan doesn't get a hand on him, he's gone, Jim.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he had an opening there. It was just beautiful to behold. Well, that is the end of the 3rd quarter of play. Bridgewater tacks on another touchdown to extend its lead to 25-7. And that's what's going to happen when we begin 4th quarter action. East Brunswick next week will travel to Edison to take on J.P. Stevens. It is an away game, is it not, Phil? I didn't check the schedule, but I believe so. Yes, it is at J.P. Stevens. It will be a night game next Friday night. Meanwhile, we talked about Bridgewater going to Phillipsburg. That should be an interesting game. But shades of last year. This is kind of the differential that occurred when East Brunswick went up to Bridgewater Raritan. Final score was 36-8, and with all the looks of things, Bridgewater has been as dominant.
They've been very dominant this afternoon. You keep waiting for the Bears offense to get back on track.
Yeah, really.
And, the Bridgewater defense isn't allowing that to happen. And by the same token, the Bears defense isn't able to contain the Panthers offense.
Well, I just by watching Borden walking down the sideline, he does not appear to be a happy man.
Well,
As a matter of fact, him and Spadafino are having a few choice words with each other.
I tell you, nobody works harder than Marcus. And he doesn't like what he's seeing.
Who would? Okay. So here we go. Brady gives to the first back, Nicoretta. Dives ahead for about a yard. And that'll make it second and about 9. Ball is on the 24-yard line. And as you can imagine, the Panthers are in really no hurry. They're going to keep the ball on the ground. Kelly slants left, gets through the line, breaks 2 tackles,
wow.
And he is through.
Wow. There's
now we got a flag here. What's this all about?
It's a late flag as well.
Well, they're going to call a clip, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And that is, I'll tell you what, when they look at the films of that one, 50 Savage is not going to be happy. That Kelly was clearly through.
Certainly when the flag was thrown.
Right.
But again, the Panthers have not stopped.
They're like a machine.
Turning it up.
Well, that's going to be a 15-yard mark off from there. So that should bring the ball really back to about the 20. So you're going to end up with a 3-yard gain on this play. Still make it second down. Second and about 5, we'll call it. This is a demoralized team, no doubt about it.
Well, it's just, they didn't expect this, Jim.
Really?
You know, they've worked very hard. We knew Marcus had some concern about his defense. And they're just going to have to go back to the drawing board and make some adjustments. It's a good Bridgewater team here.
Well, this time they get Kelly. And really no gain on the play.
And coming off the bottom there for the Bears, number 36.
What we got there? Big A? No. Aranowitz? Aranowitz? Third and about 7. Looks like somebody left a little early on that, I thought. Pass is complete nonetheless to Stewart, who is, I think, might be a little bit short of the first down marker.
Petty coming up to make the tackle.
And he is still about 1.5 yards shy. This is one of the few 4th down situations that Bridgewater has had to go after. I'm sure they're going to go for it.
No question about it.
4th and about 2 yards to go. So
and they may just give it to Godolfo because that's what you're supposed to do in short down situations. Give it to the big fullback and see what he can do.
well, he is the lone back. Godolfo it is. He's through, and he's got himself a first down. Ball's all the way down to about the 10-yard line. Bridgewater will start once again. We're under 10 minutes now, 9:30 to be exact. And the crowd has noticeably thinned out here. Stewart with it. Changes direction a little bit. Tried to go to the middle.
I'll tell you, and caught from the backside there. That's, once again, number 36.
Aronowitz.
Okay.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Brady up the pipe to Nicoretta. Carries a tackler with him. And gets about 3 yards on the play.
And Mac Zukas again in on the tackle there. I guess you can tell by now I broke my glasses a long time ago, Jim.
Coming up on the 8-minute mark. Third and about 7 to go. Brady is going to pass. Pass was almost caught by Nicoretta, then it bounced around a little bit and finally fell on the ground.
Something was thrown in there.
You see a flag?
Yeah.
Well, yes, there is. And what do we got?
Appears to be against the Bears, Jim. And the call is interference.
Wow. Now, is that an automatic first down?
Yes.
First down and goal for Bridgewater. Boy, that was a tough call right there. Nicoretta spins, keeps on driving, and I think he's in. So they give it to him? He appeared to cross the plane, but apparently his knee touched the ground before he did.
I'll tell you, Darren Wickberg holding on for life in on that tackle, but as you pointed out, Nicoretta spinning, trying to reach that goal line.
Well, Phil, our travels this year are going to take us to Saraville. We're going to get to see Saraville play.
Oh, what an exciting team.
They're going to be one of the good ones. Brady gives it. Is there a fumble? Well, whatever. They didn't make it in, though. Gandolfo was the carrier.
Okay, once again, the interior of that defensive line did the job right there anyway. And you got to come back to Gandolfo again here.
Sure.
Your fullback, nothing cute here.
Brady, this time they're in. Gandolfo is the one that scores. And that makes the score Bridgewater 31 and East Brunswick 7. Again, they remind you of a machine. They just,
I tell you.
one play after another, you know it's coming, and East Brunswick has not been able to shut this team down. Quick snap, and nice kick through. Makes it 32-7.
I tell you, nice adjustment by the holder. Very high snap.
Yes, it was.
He did get it down, however. And Jim, we talked at the top of the game last year's score, 36-8, and we thought it would be certainly
much different.
Different game.
Well, I will tell you that when I spoke to Borden about Bridgewater, he said they could be better than last year's team. I thought he was being a little, tactical and just not allowing his team to take anything for granted. But the fact of the matter is, Bridgewater shows signs of being a real excellent team.
Well, I just didn't think they had as much. I know what they lost last year, and I just didn't think they had that much coming back, but apparently a lot of very solid young talent there. And
well, when you have a good program moving along, such as you have there, it kind of reminds me of the Piscataway program, where the faces change, but the winning continues.
I hear what you're saying.
So this ends up being a disappointing evening for East Brunswick, for sure. And 6:17 left in the game. You know, Bridgewater could score again. You got to wonder with that defense playing the way it has, coming at Costantino, whether you want to keep him in there. I'm not sure. Merrigan looks like he has it, and he is knocked down. They go after the kicker, East Brunswick does.
Okay, despite the score, Jim, 32-7, you still would like to see the Bears,
well, sure,
come up with something offensively. Like I said, we were so excited from the first series, and things sort of just settled down. But you know they have the potential. You just sort of like to see them get it together. But once again, Costantino must be given time.
this is he. Keeps it himself. Still running with the ball.
I'll tell you, strong kid.
Right,
And
about
picks
4
up the-
tacklers, gang
Picks up the first down.
Right, first down for East Brunswick. That's one of the first downs we've seen in quite a long time. .550 to go in the game. Ball is on the 35-yard line. Merrigan and Petty will shift to the low side of the screen. Costantino looks for his receiver. Merrigan gathers it in.
Okay.
Gain of about, say, 8 yards on the play.
And that's all really, you might wonder why he's not throwing longer. He has to take the 3 steps back and get the ball off very quickly before
Right.
the Panthers get in. The Panthers know the Bears have to throw, so they're going to be blowing in there. And Ryan has to get the ball off quickly.
This is Costantino. Keeps it, pitches. That was a hard pitch to Hurley.
Ooh, and he is smothered under.
And actually, what was just a short yard to go for a first down ends up being a loss. And now East Brunswick has itself a, well, they have to get just across the 45 to get a first down. Meanwhile, the clock continues to run.
And you may see Ryan keeping himself again.
Costantino, quick flare into
Nice pass.
Merrigan, turns around, avoids one tackle, then is nailed.
And that's a flag sparing.
Right, 41 with a tough tackle on Merrigan.
Merrigan was already down, and the young fellow came in, helmet first,
Right.
official right there. That's going to cost him 15.
We'll stop the clock. If East Brunswick is smart, they'll start to get some plays called here now. Costantino motions to the sideline to get some plays. And you see the 15 marked off, and that would advance the ball down to the 30, just inside the 30-yard line. So it is a first down for East Brunswick.
Okay, I'd be surprised if it's not Merrigan on that.
That long sideline
fly
flare?
pattern, really.
Okay. This is Costantino. Boy,
Ooh,
pass was intended for
Petty threw it behind him,
yeah,
however.
he did. So with that incompletion, make it 2nd down and 10 for East Brunswick.
We haven't seen him go to the tight end just yet. Alexander, I guess they got to keep him in for blocking purposes.
Absolutely. Costantino keeps it. No, I'm sorry.
Oh.
That was a quick opener to Leota from the looks of things. And he is down. Well, now he's up. He gets up a little very slow. He's still rather groggy.
He doesn't. Yeah.
And
he's on another street right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now he hits the dirt.
I'll tell you, certainly is all right. I think he went down and they went helmet to helmet. And
I have to. Is that a charge timeout to East Brunswick?
I don't think so, Jim.
Yeah, he took a good pop there.
And I'll tell you, Russ Leota, you see him lying down there. He's a good, hard-nosed player, a good-natured kid. I had a chance to talk with him the other day at the St. Joe's soccer game, and St. Joe's guys were acting up a little bit. He said to Costantino, "Hey, I'm gonna go over there and tell them guys I'm from Brooklyn and show them my tattoo." Costantino says, "Listen, you may be from Brooklyn, but you haven't lived there in a long time. What are you talking about?" And he's just a kid with a good sense of humor there, a very likable kid. So we certainly hope the young man is okay.
All right. Well, he's being looked at right now. They're taking their time with Leota. Looks like he took a shot in the head.
They went helmet to helmet there at the end there, and you know, you can be none too careful.
Mm-hmm. Well, even the Bridgewater coach is coming across the field to see how things are. Tom Savage. Is it Tom Savage?
It's Bill Savage.
Bill Savage.
Bill Savage is, of course, he's been around for 20 years. When the school split, Bridgewater West and East, when they joined together, rather, in 1991, he was named the head coach for Bridgewater Raritan. But once again, we still have Russ Leota down, and some concern by all that's here.
So as we wait, and the way the coaches are observing Leota, you're wondering if he suffered a concussion of some sort, some head injury.
Well, could be, and that's what you have to be very careful with. Leota, of course, is an excellent wrestler as well.
That's right.
And
well, he is being observed by Phil Hostler, the fine trainer for East Brunswick. And let's see what they elect to do here. Crowd is quiet.
It's silent right now.
Real silent. And we'll watch as you do.
And you notice, Jim, they're keeping the helmet on, which is standard.
Now you see the Bridgewater trainer coming across the field. And I'm not sure who that is. All right, well, I'll tell you what, if this is a prolonged injury where they're going to have to take him off the field, I think what we'll do at this point is just take a short break, and as soon as action resumes, we'll be back up with you, okay? All right, you hear the crowd offering their support and applause for Russ Leota as he's finally brought to his feet, being placed on a cart. Nonetheless, we've been away for a good 5 minutes, so you know that they are taking their time.
And I see Russ's dad getting ready to walk. Well, is walking out.
Okay.
And
Russ is they're sort of like he's holding his head gingerly. And Phil, we're both parents.
well, I can tell you firsthand.
I'll tell you.
You know, you can see injuries and whatnot until it really, when it hits home, it's really a sickening feeling.
Yeah.
You feel bad for the youngster and feel bad for yourself as well.
All right, he's taking his helmet off. Well, let's shift to the action on the field right now. All right, East Brunswick is threatening. There is 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the game. Costantino is passing, lofts one up high, and is caught for a touchdown by Brian Merrigan. Sorry for not being excited about that, but after you see an injury, and there's another player for East Brunswick down on the field. Don't know who that is. Well, let's see. I think it was Crail, and he's up on his feet, thankfully.
Okay.
So a 21-yard pass play from Costantino to Merrigan. May strikes up a tune on that one. Makes the score 32-13.
And Jim, if you're the Bears, I mean, there's a hush over the crowd, hoping that Leota's okay.
Yeah, right.
But if you're the Bears, as I was saying earlier, you want to come back and score. And
they did it on
and that's just what they did.
On the first play.
And they appear to be going for two.
Costantino with it. Low pass, incomplete to Hurley. Scooped it up, so goes as an incomplete pass on the extra point attempt. Score remains 32-13 in favor of Bridgewater. Okay, so East Brunswick will finally get a chance to kick off once more.
And again, Russ Leota sitting there.
Well, that's Mike Spadafino, is it not?
Right, yes he is.
He's a chiropractic medicine physician.
I mean, the good news is it doesn't appear to be the serious injury. Appears to be maybe more of a concussion.
Right. Well, Leota appears to have movement in all of his limbs.
Right,
so
that's the good news.
Right.
Let's see.
But there's no doubt he is, I'm not sure he knows where he is right now. But we wish him all the best as they take him off the field now. Excuse me, take him on the cart, most likely to get some, just to take a look at things.
Okay, the Bears setting up for an onside kick, Jim.
Right. And who do we have kicking off? Is that Shull? It is. It is an onside kick. Takes a good bounce.
And they get it.
Let's see. Does East Brunswick recover? No, it went out of bounds. Boy, it was.
I'll tell you.
Now there's a flag for the out of bounds. But
I'll tell you, I thought the East Brunswick player slid right under it, but apparently.
But then again, you don't have your glasses.
I broke my glasses.
Okay. It was a perfectly executed onside kick. Took that right bounce. East Brunswick player was right there, but it apparently slipped through his hands. Went out of bounds. And Bridgewater will take over. Well, they'll have an option of taking the ball right there, which I'm sure they will.
No doubt about it.
Meanwhile, more of the crowd has exited the game. We had a pretty good crowd here.
I think a nice crowd for opening day. And the Panthers do decline and take possession of the ball, Jim.
Three minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the contest. And Brady has been in there all the way. As a matter of fact, all the starters for Bridgewater are in. That's Gandolfo. Finally is wrestled down.
And McManus on the tackle again.
One would think with all those players dressed for Bridgewater that they might use them right now, but not as such is not the case.
Well, this is a cross-county rivalry.
Brady gives to Nicoretta, who goes right up the middle, untouched, and looks like he's going to score. Nope.
Oh.
Hurley tackles him.
Touchdown saving tackle by Hurley at the 1-yard line. As they step it off, we'll put it back at the...
That looks to be like about the 5-yard line. So if the Panthers want to, they will go in once again.
Well, I said this is a cross-county rival here. Normally, if you're in county there, you don't want to mush it in. Cross-county, you may not care.
They are mushing it in. Now, that ball is given to number 38, so that is a new face, and he is in. So
that's Anthony DeLucia.
DeLucia, huh?
5'10", 215 pounds, a transfer from North Plainfield.
And DeLucia brings the score up to 38 to 13 now. So that matches the score that Bridgewater scored last year against East Brunswick. And DeLita will go for the extra point. He rockets it through. And score now is 39 to 13. And Phil, I've seen enough. Really, they have not been stopped since those first two drives. They have been unstoppable.
They've been sort of relentless, no doubt about it.
Yes, indeed. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you're Marcus Borden now, you really have to settle your team down. I think what he's telling his team right now is just don't give up, because that was token resistance by East Brunswick.
Well, it may not be token resistant. It may be just exhaustion. Like I said,
you're right. The defense has been on that field. You're right. Well, and another thing we should point out is that a number of these players go both ways.
Quite a lot.
And I think that's taken its toll. Alita has been very effective kicking off for Bridgewater. In by Petty, and gets away from a couple of tackles. He's through one wave, and he's brought down. I'm looking at the middle of field where the kicker was.
There's a flag out there, Jim.
Well, Mineta met DeLita, and I'm wondering if that's the flag or if this is an offside. It's at the 40. That's in fact what it is. And if Bridgewater is merciful, they will decline the penalty. Well, I guess it's an automatic 5-yard penalty. Or what are they doing? What is this penalty now? Apparently I thought it was offside. That was blocking below the waist. Must have been Mineta that was called for that, Phil. What do you think?
Well, he and
DeLita, the kicker,
were down there, right? Only two people by the flag.
Cosentino has been in there all the way for East Brunswick. He has one touchdown pass. And he's got the ball now, but they got him. Oops.
Swarmed under.
Clock shows 1:30 left to go in the game. Time for a couple more plays. A loss of about 2. And you notice we're not saying much here, waiting for the game to come to a conclusion. Costantino back to pass, rifles it to Merrigan, catches it, gets behind one tackler, and then is brought down. That'll be a first down for the Bears.
Again, a nice throw by Costantino.
Right. Well, we saw early on what he's capable of doing. He just has not been able to get things loose tonight for whatever the reason. All right, East Brunswick looks like they've called the timeout.
And they're bringing some of the younger players in right now, Jim.
Number 4, Pisapia, Anthony Pisapia. Number 38 is on the field, Brian O'Mara. And looks like the 3 receivers, Merrigan, Petty, and Shull, will exit the game. Merrigan's had a fairly effective game, Phil. Fairly good game.
That's, I would say so, definitely so. The other receiver is probably Joe Pastava.
Yeah. And Borden looks like a wideout himself there. Costantino drops back, fires it over the middle. Caught, very nice catch by Pasapia.
Okay.
Let's try that again. Pisapia.
Okay, that sounds better.
I'll tell you, I guarantee you, folks, we will get that straightened out the next time we're on the air.
Nevertheless, nice catch by the young fellow.
Pisapia, whatever. Another timeout by East Brunswick. And that was a fine-looking catch.
They got a bevy of young receivers. As I said, I think all these receivers are going to develop more as they go on. They're going to get used to Ryan, and they're going to run better patterns, and they're going to catch the ball.
Exactly. I believe East Brunswick used a timeout early in the second half. Spadafino actually called the defensive one, so that has to be East Brunswick's final timeout. There is 36 seconds left in the game. Quick drop back by Costantino. Ball is
picked off.
Well, was it? Nope, dropped. So Costantino will have another opportunity. Costantino is going to try a long one. His arm was hit as he released the ball, Phil.
Again, shows you some of the strength there, Jim.
Yeah.
His arm was hit. Nevertheless, he was able to get that ball off.
Right. So it is 3rd and 10. Ball's on the 40, just over the 45-yard line. Draw play.
Ooh, and it is smelled out, Jim.
Was that Hurley or Pleasant? I can't tell. Hurley. And that was not successful. So it is 4th down, and they're just going to let the clock run out here. 2-1, and that is the conclusion of the game. Final score, Bridgewater with a resounding 39-13 win over East Brunswick. And with that, the clock and time go out. I think the East Brunswick people want to get out of here. It's been a long night, Phil, for East Brunswick in all respects, offensively and defensively.
I just think that I know Marcus certainly didn't expect this. I think the kids have worked very hard, and it is disappointing, disheartening to open up with a game like this here. But they'll go back to the drawing board, work hard, put a few new wrinkles in, and get ready for the next game. That's what it's about.
And with that, that's going to do it for us this evening. Final score, Bridgewater 39, East Brunswick 13. For Phil Hill, this is Jim Allinder saying have a good evening.